It's TBG, baby.
So Charles always gets to do these, so I want to do one more. Black Jokes is a clear play on the term black votes. And it's funny because to me, it's like one of my favorite songs of ours. And I think Charles actually doesn't like it. And especially doesn't like the hook, which is actually one of my favorite parts. I like how different the hook is. And from my end, it's always hard because I'm trying not to be monotonous. And I know what my voice sounds like, and I know what my energy is and what my tempo is and all that. So it's sort of difficult for me at times to really bring a whole bunch of difference to the delivery. But I think with that hook came out really cool. And I like the video that Charles did as well. I think it's a really great video. The symbol's really great. It means a lot. And the song was made at the time where COVID was real big. And they were telling us repeatedly that we weren't allowed to go see our grandparents in the old folks' homes. And we weren't allowed to touch each other. And everything was really scary, scary, scary. And the one thing that we were allowed to do was go stand in a long line so we could vote. Now, this is after 2016 when Hillary Clinton won the election by 2.7 million votes. And for the third time in history, the first two being George Bush Jr., the Electoral College stepped in and thought we didn't make the right decision. Well, I guess they have done this in way in the back, but the third time in modern history, they thought we didn't really know what we were doing, so they put Trump in instead. And it just went to show you how absolutely little the vote matters. Your vote doesn't matter when 2.7 million, and 2.7 million at that time, you know, the amount of people that voted wasn't nearly as high as you would think of the 330 some million people in the United States or whatever it is. You know, very small percentage actually does vote. So for 2 million more to vote for Hillary is a huge deal. And she didn't say anything. She could have been the first female president ever and didn't say anything. And she just rode off into the sunset like it was nothing. And, you know, when Trump lost in 2020, he made the same sort of stink you would think Hillary would have made in 2016 when she won. But she didn't. And for the country to then tell us that the only thing we can do is get out there and vote, and consistently show us these commercials of black guys hanging out in the barbershop talking about how important it is that they vote. I just found it ridiculous and insulting because black people make up 13% of the population. So even if for somehow, some magical way you could get all 13% to vote, to actually go out there and vote, it still wouldn't even matter. But to consistently reinforce this stereotype, I mean, I guess, are they saying they think black people are cooler and more influential on white people? I don't know. It was really a strange thing to be a part of. And that's the feeling I had going into that song. So what it means to you is up to you. But that was what was going on at the time in the world when I wrote Black Jokes, and Charles did his magic to make it all TBG awesome. See ya.
Not sorry to burst your bubble, but the black vote doesn't matter. And truthishly, I'm hopeful that if we finally shatter the illusion and the banter, then the promised change will come. But until then, the chosen cancer takes advantage of the dumb. Goyim just for fun, since we barely even fight. Their propaganda keeps us numb, oblivious to the plight. While the thief comes day or night, we don't even lock the door. And when we finally see what isn't right, we blindly vote for more. Propaganda like the black vote and the black community are so much like a black hole that they suck the energy from every planted seed. Since voting's an illusion, no one protests who commands these things, lost in planned black confusion. Blacks make up around 13% of the US population. That's not enough to make a dent in any situation. But just like the space station or the COVID-19 nonsense, what you believe is so amazing. If you're really being honest, you'll see Americans make Hondas and Trump has foreign sweatshops. There's more hookers serving Congress than lot lizards at the rest stops. The chosen openly run the best stops to manipulate perception. Like, how come we can't arrest the cops or the planned racist infection? Propaganda like the black vote and the black community are so much like a black hole that they suck the energy from every planted seed. Since voting's an illusion, no one protests who commands these things, lost in planned black confusion. If I gave you a ham sandwich and just 13% was ham, while the rest of what you've been handed was some shit straight from the can, would you conform and be a man and eat it with a smile? Or would you finally understand that 87%'s a mile from the ham-trelescent style you were told made up your meal? It's our societal denial ensuring Goyim feel the need and therefore kneel and refuse to even question. They tell you what's real, yet you never learn your lesson. Propaganda like the black vote and the black community are so much like a black hole that they suck the energy from every planted seed. Since voting's an illusion, no one protests who commands these things, lost in planned black confusion. So, instead of getting mad about something you hadn't bothered to think about, why not ask the questions that I'm asking, that TBG is asking? Who pulls the strings? Why aren't we protesting? Who writes the laws? Not just that we want equal rights,